Hello and welcome to True Talk Chelsea. This is the number one podcast for all your Chelsea wants and needs. We hope you enjoy. That's right, guys. Welcome back to True Talk Chelsea. What a time it is to be a Chelsea fan. Chelsea are into the semi finals of the FA Cup and the Champions League, and also well within the race for the top four in the Premier League. So, indeed, what a time it is to be a Chelsea fan, and a good time to resume this podcast after a 1 month break. Many of you all have been telling me that this is the perfect match for me to actually start making these videos again, and I completely agree because I think that the regular listeners of my podcast would be aware of my importance on winning trophies. And as you all would know, that Chelsea has not gone two consecutive seasons without winning a trophy in the Roman Abramovich era. However, if we do manage to lose to Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-finals, then the only way in which we can win a trophy this season would be by firstly defeating Real Madrid in the semi-finals, and then either of PSG or Manchester City in the final of the UEFA Champions League, which is definitely not an easy task. I think as far as the Champions League is concerned, we are currently the underdogs, the least favourites to win the competition. However, a trophy is a trophy, and it's currently the FA Cup that we focus on. I think it's Chelsea's best opportunity to win a trophy, because if we get past Manchester City, we'll get either Southampton or Leicester City in the finals. You know, Southampton have been one of the most out of form teams in 2021 in the Premier League. Even Leicester City, they are easily defeatable, especially with their recent dip in form. So this is a big game, and I actually thought if I should make a preview for this game in which I speak about some team news, some predicted lineups, some brief history, match facts, but to be honest, that's very monotonous and boring. So I thought that let's spice things up and make a combined 11 of Chelsea and Manchester City, which one could argue have been the two best teams in England this year, if you could count all competitions. Particularly Chelsea under Tuchel have been amazing, and Manchester City, of course, have the chance of winning quadruple. So two amazing squads, two amazing teams, two very deep teams, I would say. The squad depth of Manchester City and Chelsea, according to me, is the best in the Premier League. Both of these teams have at least two or maybe even three players in every position which we can choose from. So many players to choose from. Without any further ado, let's get started with this 11. Before starting, I would like to mention some of the rules or some of the things that I'm keeping in mind while making this 11. Firstly, this 11, the choices, the player picks would be based on form this season. So if a player that hasn't been good this season but has had a good career, has been good in the previous seasons, it would be tough for him to find a place in this 11. Take an example of Sergio Aguero. He's not been that good this season. He's obviously a Premier League legend though, but he wouldn't be included in this 11 because, as I said, there's high importance on form this season. Again, some player like Marcus Alonso or Antonio Rudiger, who've been quite poor in the previous seasons but have been good this season, may find their places into the 11 because of importance on form this season. So also I'm going to be going for a 4-3-3 formation because I think that's the most balanced formation. Goes for 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 attackers. Let's start with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is a straight choice between the two number ones, which is Edouard Mendy and Ederson. I think this is a lot closer than most people would think. I think Edouard Mendy and Ederson have been two of the best 3 keepers in the Premier League this season, along with Emiliano Martinez. We can see this with the fact that in the Premier League, I think Ederson is leading the charge with the Golden Glove, but Edouard Mendy is just 2 to 3 clean sheets behind. And the Champions League, Edouard Mendy is leading the charge with the Golden Glove, and Ederson is just 1 clean sheet behind. So it's quite neck to neck for this place. Any keeper could have honestly taken it. However, I've gone for Ederson actually. This is because I think Not gonna lie, I might have taken in account the fact that Mendy hasn't faced as many shots. I'm not so sure if Edison has either because he's played behind a very good defense. But I think Edison's distribution has come into picture. His distribution is obviously one of the best in the world. Mendy has been shaky at times. So as I said, it was a very close call, but in the end, I've gone for Edison. Let's move for the back four. Back four will start with the right back. Right back is another very close call. It's between three players: Joao Cancelo, Kyle Walker, and Reece James. Obviously, these three players have featured for their teams quite often. Uh, this one was very close. It was very close between all three players, but in the end, I've gone for a second Manchester City player in the form of Joao Cancelo over Kyle Walker. I think Cancelo has been one of the best right backs, not only in the Premier League but also across Europe this season. He's been very good venturing ahead. I'm aware that he's played left back as well, but I think his preferred position is the right back position. He has played right back as well, so I have gone for Joao Cancelo as the right back. Now, the centre back, I must agree that centre back has been the most debatable, the most difficult position for me to pick because we've just got two centre back options, and the number of quality centre backs across both teams, particularly this season, especially Chelsea under Tuchel, has been way too many. Let's first talk about Manchester City. We've got John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Aymeric Laporte. These are probably the main ones. You've also got Nathan Ake, Eric Garcia. You wouldn't probably think of these ones, but for Chelsea, you've got Antonio Rudiger, you've got Andreas Christensen, you've got Kurt Zuma, you've got Thiago Silva. Maybe you can make a case for Azpilicueta. I've actually disregarded Azpilicueta because we're playing in a back four. I don't think Azpilicueta has played centre back in a back four. So despite that, there are so many options. For the first centre back, I'm going for Ruben Diaz. I think he's been a revelation of a signing. He's been way too good in Manchester City. He's been solid. He's been good with the ball at his feet. Very young, of course. He's already a front runner or maybe a good case for PFA Player of the Year with, I think, Manchester City. The fact that they have, in their title winning years, have had more brilliant attackers than defenders. However, this season it's been completely opposite. They are playing without a recognized number 9, and their defensive strength has been their strength, because of which we might find more Manchester City players in the defense. But we will also take into account that Chelsea's defensive transformation since Tuchel has come. Clean sheets have been in abundance, but till now, 3 Manchester City players: Edison, right back Joao Cancelo, and the first centre back Ruben Diaz. Now, the second centre back was a debate between John Stones and Thiago Silva. Honestly, according to some Chelsea fans, they would be, we can say, logical to say that Andreas Christensen or Antonio Rudiger have been better than Thiago Silva. However, in my opinion, that these players have been good since Tuchel came, but we're not just looking at the post-Tuchel era. The Tuchel era. We're actually looking at the entire season. These players were poor or non-existent until Tuchel came. Thiago Silva has been excellent for Chelsea since day one. Well, not exactly day one, because his first day was West Brom. So since day 2. So I've gone for Thiago Silva over John Stones. I think it was again very close. 2 of the best defenders in the country. John Stones, he's had a comeback season after all those critics. Thiago Silva, 36 years young. He's been so amazing. I think he provides leadership, he provides experience, and I just wanted the Chelsea representative over here, to be very honest. And Thiago Silva is, I think, an overall better defender than John Stones, though many could argue that Stones has been better this season. I wouldn't write that off as wrong, but I've personally gone for Thiago Silva. Now the left back is a position that Manchester City struggle with sometimes. That's why Joao Cancelo finds himself playing at left back at times, but he's already into the team as a right back. So for left back, I think it's a Chelsea debate. We've got Alexander Zinchenko and Benjamin Mendy, who I don't know. I don't think they've been too good. I think Mendy has been slightly better. Even Zinchenko, you can say, has been more involved for City. But I still think that it's quite a debate between Ben Chilwell and Marcus Alonso. Since we are playing with the back four, we're playing with the left back, and also going to take into account Chilwell's performances before Tuchel came in. Therefore, I would give Ben Chilwell the nod ahead of Marcus Alonso. I don't think there's too much explaining for this one, apart from the fact that Chilwell is well as a left back, and then Alonso could have been closer if it was a wing back, but it is a left back that does have gone for Ben Chilwell. Now the midfield three is very interesting, because the number of quality midfielders again is many. Now I've decided to not break many rules. I've decided to go for one natural DM, which is either N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, or Rodri. Initially, I'm not gonna lie, when I made this team, the three midfielders that I named had neither of these three. Actually had Kovacic in my team, but since we have gone for a DM, Chelsea have obviously played a midfield two, which is a pivot two, so Kovacic does find his place over here. But we're playing with a 4-3-3, so one natural DM along with two number 8s. Thus, Mateo Kovacic is ineligible for the DM position. We'll find out if he gets in as one of the 8s. He's obviously been so good. But for DMs, it was between Rodri and Jorginho for me. I think Jorginho has been better than Kante as an overall. He started the season as Chelsea's best player, I must say. In the middle, obviously, Jorginho was actually out of preference. But that was actually the time that we struggled a lot. I've actually gone for Jorginho over Rodri. This can be very debatable, but I think that Jorginho has been better than Rodri this season. Rodri has been quite good as well, but I'm extremely impressed by how Jorginho has played, and that is why I've given him a place in this 11th. Now I've gone for two number 8s, which are, the first one I would reveal would be Ilkay Gundogan, because he just had to be aware after his form this season, his goal scoring form in particular. He's been extremely amazing, while Manchester City have played without a recognised number 9. It's been Gundogan who has taken the honours of goal scoring. He's making those late runs into the box. The overall game, I think his overall game has been good, even in the last season before that. It's just the fact that he's scoring more goals, that his game is getting more recognition this season. So I've gone for Ilkay Gundogan. Now the third midfielder, which is the second number 8, is quite interesting. It's a decision. It's a very tough decision, because there are players who can play in multiple positions. I think there's Kevin De Bruyne, you could say, who plays as a number 8, and if De Bruyne is eligible to play only as a number 8, there wouldn't be a debate. De Bruyne will have to play over here. However, I've gone to something else. I've gone for De Bruyne in the front three, because he can definitely play over there. This leaves a space for a Chelsea player over here, which is either Mason Mount or Mateo Kovacic. Now these two, according to me, have been Chelsea's player of the season so far. It was an extremely tough decision to choose between the two, because both of them have been quite good. They've been good in different ways. Mason Mount obviously has played deeper at times. He's gone on for the attacking mid position, but I've actually eventually chosen Mason Mount, as I think many Chelsea fans would right now. I think one reason would be that Kovacic is also ineligible for the game against Manchester City. Mason Mount is younger, and I just think that he's been a bit more consistent. Mateo Kovacic has had poor patches. He's had very good ones too, of course, but I think Mason Mount has been quite consistent along with some world class performances. And those 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 performances week in and week out. Thus, I've gone for the consistency, I've gone for the work rate, I've gone for Mason Mount. Front three. Well, the front three is very interesting. As I mentioned, I will be playing De Bruyne in the front three. Now it leaves place for two more players, and unfortunately to my Chelsea fans over here, I have to say that the entire front three constitutes of Manchester City players, because to be very honest, Chelsea hasn't been that impressive offensively, especially looking at the season as a whole. Now, if you could see some players, Ziyech has been injured, Hudson-Odoi has been good, but has he been that good that he'll get in front of players like Mahrez, Sterling, Foden? I don't think so. Then you could make a case of Pulisic. Obviously, it's based on the entire season, not just the last couple of matches. Pulisic has not been that good until of late. He's had injury concerns as well. Kai Havertz, same with him. It's based on the entire season. You can definitely not include Kai Havertz. Timo Werner, so many chances missed. It wouldn't be fair on Manchester City players to include Timo Werner ahead of them. So the front three that I've actually gone for is De Bruyne, Mahrez, and let me think, Foden. This is actually the front three that Manchester City played in their last game against Borussia Dortmund. As I said, they've been playing without a recognized number 9 because Sergio Aguero has been injured. He's been out of favor. Gabriel Jesus, he's been good, but then has he been that good? Manchester City have at times preferred to play without a recognized striker. I think Phil Foden has been quite amazing. Riyad Mahrez, it's been one of his best seasons at City so far, in my opinion. This is the front three that I've gone for. Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez, and Kevin De Bruyne. So the overall ratio of the team would be, I think, it definitely has more Manchester City players. There's Edison, there's Joao Cancelo, there is Ruben Diaz, there's Gundogan, and there's the front three. So there's actually 7 Manchester City players. The only 4 Chelsea players are Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Jorginho, and Mason Mount. You could argue that these 4 players have been consistent all season. I think the fact that Chelsea hasn't been that good offensively, while Manchester City has, affects the number of Chelsea players in this team. However, this was my attempt to make the most impartial and unbiased 11. Even though I'm a Chelsea fan, I think the fact that there are 7 Manchester City players is testimony to the fact that I've been quite unbiased while making this team. So leave your thoughts about this team in the comments down below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to True Talk Chelsea for more top quality Chelsea content. Keep listening to True Talk Chelsea. Thank you.